Hey, how you doing everybody? Welcome back to Big Frog's 4x4. Today, we're going to be putting a Magnaflow exhaust system on a brand new Toyota Tacoma. Now, Toyota's biggest problem with building the truck, as aggressive and manly as it is its sound. It just doesn't sound like a man's truck. So today, we're going to make it sound like a man's truck. So what we have here is the catback exhaust system from Magnaflow. It is all direct bolt on, comes with everything you need with gaskets, clamps, muffler, a pretty nice tailpipe. And we're going to walk you through with hand tools how to put this all on. So here's a Magnaflow muffler. I am a little disappointed with the quality of the muffler. The welds look great, but they didn't clean up any of the welding slag. There's slag all over the muffler from where they did the welds on the ends. You see on this side, splatter. And it's all over the stainless steel. So if this was a muffler you'd be putting on a show vehicle, you would want to complain. I don't know if there's any way you could get them to do anything with that. I would not put this muffler on a show vehicle, only because it isn't clean. It isn't up to the standards that I expected from Magnaflow. Alright, anytime you jack up a rear end of a vehicle, be sure you use jack stands. Do not let all the weight sit directly on the jack. Also, whenever you place your jack stands underneath the axle, you want to place them to the outmost point that you can put them. That way you have the most stability when you have it on the stands. Also, make sure that your front wheels are chocked to keep the vehicle from rolling forward while it's jacked up. Okay, each of these hangers you want to spray a little bit of lube so they come out of the rubber bushing. So I use a little bit of WD-40. Alright, your stock muffler is held on with 14mm bolts, and you just want to take those each out. Alright, what you're going to do is pop these hangers out of these rubber bushings. Once you spray them up with lube, they should pop out pretty easy. Right like that. If they don't come out, they actually make a tool for pressing these out. You can pick them up on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below. And you squeeze them, and they're like a big pair of pliers, and it pushes this and squeezes the rubber at the same time. If this is an older truck, you might have to get a pair of those pliers. But since this is a new truck, everything comes apart fairly easy. Maybe I spoke too soon. Oh, there it goes. Alright. The next one I'm going to take out is back by the tailpipe, and then I'll do the front of the muffler. Alright, we're going to take the one off back here by the tailpipe. And you can tell by the tailpipe that it is nothing pretty to look at. The Magnaflow would be so much more aesthetically looking. But basically, you just want to push back on the rubber while you're pushing on the muffler, so you can pop this off. Hopefully it comes off as easy as the other ones. Might have to get something to pry this one. Yep. Alright. Something to push with. Okay. There you go. Now to the one of the muffler. Alright, your last hanger should come off fairly easy. You just push back on the muffler a little bit, hold the rubber. There it is. Now you want to just fish your exhaust system up through over the rear axle and forward of the truck. Pick it up, turn it. Be careful you don't rip your ABS wire back there. And it is out. Alright, make sure that you remove the old gasket that comes with your stock exhaust, and the new muffler and tailpipe and everything, and the exhaust system comes with a new gasket. And you install that, and it'll fit nicely into this groove. You can then come up, fit your new Magnaflow pipe in. And you want to push your bolts in, then loose by hand. You do not want to tighten anything at this point until everything is assembled. Now, I slid the muffler underneath the truck to keep from scratching the stainless steel up. It comes wrapped in this bubble wrap. I slid it underneath here, and that way you can move the muffler around without scratching your stainless. And then I'm going to slide that hanger that helps support it up one. And then you can fish your tailpipe up through. Alright, don't be like me. Make sure you put the clamp on before you slide the muffler on. So we're going to slide that back off. And that would just make it easier. You could bend the clamp open and fit it up on there, but then you're going to have the clamp all out of shape and it's going to be harder to use. So slide your clamp on, then put your muffler on. Now the new clamps that come with the kit are a 15 millimeter. And you have to put your wedge on first, if I don't drop it. Then the washer, and then your nut. Now I'm squeezing this clamp a little bit so that you can push the bolt through with one hand. And this is a lock style nut, so you can only screw it on so far by hand, and then it's going to start getting tight. And then when we're done getting everything all on and getting everything lined up nicely, then you tighten all your clamps up. Now the tailpipe comes with this large bubble wrap over your chrome tip. We taped that on the end of the tailpipe so that the tailpipe tip didn't get all scratched up. Oop, it's stuck on me. Should knock the muffler off. Do the tailpipe first. Alright, at this point you want to put your other clamp on before you slide it together so I don't make the same mistake as the last time. If you have two people to help you with this, it's always a good idea. But you can manage to do this on your own if you need to. The pipe slides over like that. Make sure you have clamp on there. Now we're kind of going to look at your hangers and see where everything needs to move. The muffler needs to come more towards the front so we can get the rubber hanger in. Okay, we want to slide the muffler off and put these hangers on first. Might be a good idea to spray a little more lube in those rubber bushings. Make this slide on a little easier. Slide this back together. Okay, I'm just spraying a little bit of lube inside the rubber bushing and on the hooks, so that everything slides together more easily. Look how much easier this side was than the other side. A little bit of lube can go a long way. And we're talking automotive. Alright, so our hangers are in. We're slid inside the muffler up here, but the muffler is sitting at a little bit of an angle. So I'm going to try to pivot that so it looks a little bit more straight, looks a little more neat and clean. Then we're going to go back and put the hanger in at the back of the tailpipe. Alright, I sprayed a little WD-40 in this hole. So you're just basically going to push back on the tailpipe, and forward on the hanger rubber, and then pop her into place. At this point, I'd still leave this on, just to do a little bit of fine tuning just so that it doesn't hit the bottom of your truck or anything and cause any scratches. The last thing I'll do is take this off the tailpipe then. Right, once you have everything placed where you want it, the muffler is in far enough, you want to make sure all your rubber bushings are hanging straight. You don't want them to be pushed forward or backward. And you want everything in a relaxed position. I put these clamps on at the edge of the muffler flange here, and that way it squeezes tight on the splits that are in the muffler. When you draw these up tight, I wouldn't use an impact unless you have to. I mean, sometimes they're made a little bit too small and you have to use an impact to draw them in as tight as they need to be. But it should come to the point where this wedge that's in between the clamp just touches both of these other edges. You don't want to drive it any tighter than that. Okay. And we'll go to the back one. Now, I like to try to make my stuff as parallel and even as possible. It just looks neat. Looks like you cared about the job that you did. Even if nobody ever sees underneath it, you know that you did a good job. Sometimes it helps being a bigger guy so that you can hold yourself from moving. Or a longer ratchet, but this is to show that you can do it in your shop with even standard hand tools. I could get some big breaker bars and alright. And then you want to come up and tighten up your clamps up here. Make sure that when you do it, you hold this up even and work your way back and forth. You don't want to draw it all up in one side. So you want to come underneath and watch your gap. in your exhaust here. And these don't have to be super tight, just make sure that they're snug. And then you have enough gap that it's not any exhaust shining out here. So you can see your gasket in there is smashed between the two pieces of pipe in the flange here. Alright, make sure you don't forget to take your bubble wrap off your tailpipe tip then. You're going to remove that. And the tape we used to hold it on with. Look at that pretty shine. It's all pretty. You want to touch it, don't you? There you have it. Magnaflow exhaust system installed on the Toyota Tacoma. You can do it in your driveway, hand tools. As you saw, we did it all with the hand tools. One person install, removal, and installation. You can see the comparison between the two trucks, the ZR2 to Tacoma. Now this is not the Tacoma Off-Road Edition. This is a standard Tacoma. This baby is fully loaded inside. The interior is gorgeous. When it comes to off-road, both of them are great choices. You're just going to have to go out and test drive which one you want. If you want a manly sound, you want something that sounds like you're a man driving a Toyota Tacoma, you need to put one of these exhaust systems on. As always, thanks for watching Big Frogs 4x4. God bless.